Look, I said last week's episode of the Real Housewives of New Jersey got a little bit more interesting. This week, what we reported on, the rumors about what went down at this party between Jennifer Aydin and Danielle Cabral. Based on what we saw from this video footage, it looks like Jennifer Aydin hit her first. And I know what the folks that fight out here are saying. You hit me first. Look, literally Tiffany, who there looks like they were testing her out, says, Teresa, what would you do if someone hit you with a drink? I mean, or pushed you. You probably would hit them with the drink. Look, I don't like violence, period. I really don't. I didn't like it with the Monique situation. I don't like it in this situation. However, I'm never going to tell people how to react in these particular situations because it's not me and I've never been in these types of situations. I also implore you to remember we're watching an edited show. God only knows what else was happening because when I watched this scene, I'm like, where did Nick come from? Because from my view, Nick was so far away. So I don't know if he jetted over there or he saw it getting heated. I don't know. Because again, I have to remind you guys, you're watching an edited show. And Bravo and these producers can manipulate audio, video to whatever they want. These housewives sign off on that. I'm just want to point that out to you. However, I don't think anything was manipulated in this particular situation just because I think legally it would be a big issue for Bravo, especially because they had to do an HR investigation into this incident. All right, I'm just jumping right in. But there's more to unpack, including, Jackie, just wipe your lip because it just drooling to be relevant on this show. And Teresa basically said, yeah, I just want to use her to get the information out there about Marge being the common denominator. Oh, Jackie. I really was hoping that it felt genuine, this friendship, the formation of this friendship. I really was holding out hope. Silly me. Look, silly me for having any kind of hope. Guys, welcome to our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. And don't forget, we are raising money. We are already less than a week away before our fundraiser for Pride Month and for the organization, The Center, that does amazing work here in the New York City community. Help us get to our goal of $2,500. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. Thank you to YouTube Giving for allowing that. Donate. Check out some of our last videos if you're looking for the donation button. We are getting closer, but we're not even halfway. And we're already a week away before the end of the month. I do not want to end this fundraiser without reaching our goal. I would love to surpass our goal, but every little bit counts. And if you can share this video or our last video to let people donate, please do so. I appreciate it. And shout out to those of you that were at our Kempire After Dark New York City show that donated as well. We appreciate you guys as well. All right, let's get into our recap and then we will get into the mess.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast for our audio version of our live recaps, but also additional special episodes. And sometimes we add additional thoughts and opinions to those episodes. And we recently did that. We even talked about exclusively my Portugal trip there. Then we posted the visual version on the Kempire Radio YouTube channel. well. So be sure to check all of that out. And everything Kempire will be available in the description, including our Kempire After Dark live show. Our live show. All right, before we get into anything else, I just want to say today's live recap of the Real Housewives of New Jersey is sponsored by our friends over at BetterHelp. I can't tell you how important mental health is. We talk about it all the time here, especially with some of the content that we're talking about. I've tried BetterHelp. I love how easy it is, how it works with my schedule. And I'm just happy to be able to bring this to our community for those that might have been thinking about getting involved in regards to your mental health and therapy with a licensed therapist. All right. So as I said to you before, BetterHelp makes it so easy. So if you've been thinking about starting therapy, why not give BetterHelp a try? If it's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. And most importantly, if it doesn't work out with that therapist, which it can happen, it's happened to me, you can switch at any time at no additional cost. All right, so stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Kempire today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Kempire. For more information on BetterHelp, and your discount will be available in the description. All right, and if you think that this could help someone else, feel free to pass on the discount. That way they can start, it's unfortunate in this country that, people have put such a stigma on therapy. Let's help continue to break that stigma, okay? Little by little. Anyways, Real Housewives of New Jersey. We start off, look, I love a holistic something, all right? So they do it, and the Housewives seems to be doing the sound baths like crazy recently. So, of course, Teresa, she's in her zen, Did anyone notice when she went in there and she saw the Buddha head and she's like, is this for sale? And she's like, oh, no, it's not. And then she was just sort of like looking at the woman. And I was like, Teresa's going to buy that thing because she wanted that Buddha head for her Tipsy and Tulum party, which I think is actually a cute idea. That's the one thing I will give Teresa credit for. She knows how to throw a party. She knows how to entertain. She knows how to feed people, most importantly. Okay, so I was looking at this part. I was like, yes, Teresa knows what she's doing. Look at this. The food is fooding. The decor is decoring. The guests are guesting. The people are dressing. So, anyways, so they do a sound bath. They're going back and forth between Teresa and Jennifer and Dolores, and Melissa and Danielle at the new Envy shop. I'm not in New Jersey. And I haven't gone to the original Envy. Well, shout out to Melissa for the fact that Envy is still open, because there are so many retail stores closing. And I'm sure being on this show has helped her, but now she's expanded and she wanted a place closer to home because, she moved. So they have this new space. So she's hanging out with Danielle. And I'll be honest with you guys, I was disheartened when Melissa and Danielle had the little falling out last season because I kind of like their friendship. I don't know what it is. What's Danielle's sign? I know we looked this up before. Is it a fire sign? Because I know Melissa is an Aries. And I'm sort of like, I like their vibe. And maybe because they seem like they're like age equivalent, have kids around, not the same age, but young kids. Not so much Melissa, because Melissa's kids have grown up, but they're still young. So they're hanging out in her store and she's preparing for the Envy fashion show. I kind of miss those days where we had like the fashion shows. You remember the Posh fashion show and things like that? That really should have been a thing for Melissa. I don't know why that wasn't like a consistent thing for Melissa. It would have been smart business, to be honest. But again, it probably was a thing. Who knows? The producers and the network decides what they want to focus on. So when people love to say, oh, this particular person is always talking about this particular person, that's what they want you to think, because that's what production wants to focus on. That's what the network wants to focus on. They think that's what people are watching New Jersey for. I think they've learned in the last season or two that people are over the constant fights between the Gorgas and Teresa. So they're talking about the Envy fashion show, and Danielle was, talking about what happened in regards to Melissa receiving the bottle from Teresa. And she was like, what's your honest opinion? And Danielle says, well, coming from someone that did something similar, I sent a bottle to my brother. And then Melissa, had to rationalize, well, this is different. Again, well, we found out in this episode, I know Teresa said it on Watch What Happens Live, that this bottle was actually Louis' idea. So in Teresa's scene with Jennifer and Dolores, Jennifer brings it up and she says, well, do you know that he burned the note? And we found out that she only wished him luck in the note and things like that. And she says that it wasn't an olive branch, it was a gesture. What's the difference? What's the difference between a gesture and an olive branch? Because to me, I felt like it was an olive branch. Because the way that you were like, I will never see you again in life at the reunion, why would you give someone a bottle? I'm here for trying to make peace because that's his only living family member, sibling. So I'm here for making the peace. But at the same time, I'm like, again, last week I said, get that out your house because I really forgot about the whole Louis of it all. If it was just Teresa, do you think, question audience and replay crew, do you think that Teresa would have the rift that she has with her brother if she was still single? And no, not necessarily single. If she wasn't with Louis, maybe she was with another man. Do you think that the rift would be there? Or if she was single, do you think the rift would still be there? I wonder. I don't think so. Part of me doesn't think that there would be the rift that they're having now. And what does that say? Anyways, Paulie and Dolores. So Dolores is talking with the ladies about what's going on with her and Paulie. She's opening up a business with this eco-electric business with him. So she's talking about that. And so they're like, so what about the marriage stuff? And now she's downplaying the fact that she would like to get married. She's like, he's shown me so many other commitments. I'm like, I think she said that in another scene, but it's still a part of her story. Dolores, I just can't with it. Like, I like Dolores, but when we talk about this Paulie stuff, it seems like you're back in a similar situation that you were in with David, Dr. David. Just saying. I mean, I appreciate because, we've said so many times that Dolores doesn't have a storyline. At least this season, I feel like they really are focusing on Dolores and her storyline, which makes me wonder, are they trying to segue us into the reboot with making Dolores like one of the main people? Dolores can't carry the show, producers. She's a great, in between, but she can't carry the show, especially if we're going into a reboot with her and Paulie, because we don't want to see that. No. I love seeing Paulie's home. Even this week's episode, I'm watching and I'm like, damn, that's a beautiful townhouse. And he only has half of it, and it's huge. The other person has the other half. I'm like, see, the only thing about that I wouldn't like is sharing wall space like that. Especially when you have this big luxurious home. That's what I never really loved about townhouses. Like when you have your own house, there's a separation. You know what I mean? I just feel like when you share a wall, it's weird. I don't know. It's not weird, but it's just like, I don't know. I sound like Teresa right now. Remember what Teresa said in like season 1? She doesn't want to live in someone else's house. That's not what I mean though. I just feel like townhouses are great. I love his townhouse. But then part of me is sort of like, you own this and it's like a whole, someone else owns like the wall. So like, how does that work when you need to, like there's something that needs to get done? I know you do, it's separate, but I don't know. It's weird to me. I still love his home though. Anyways, I don't love this relationship. All right. So we see Dolores downplaying what's happening with her and Paulie. Dolores, do not get in business with Paulie. I just don't see why. What's the point? I agree with Joe Gorga from last week. He's like, she's not trying, and that wasn't last week, it was the week before. She's not trying to get into business with you. But I guess she's taking it as some sort of commitment. Excuse me. And I didn't bring my water. Lord. Excuse me. Moving on. So they discussed the housewarming party and what went down in regards to it. Jen tells Teresa about Joe throwing the card in there, and Teresa says what she actually put in there, and she says it wasn't an olive branch, it was just a gesture. All right. So and then Jen, I thought this issue with the step and repeat, the charity situation, the Lena situation. I said they cleaned it up nice and clean. We can move forward. But Danielle felt a way about it because she's talking about it with Melissa. But Jennifer Aiden is going in about this step and repeat. And Dolores says in her confession, this is not about a step and repeat. It is not that big of a deal. And I agreed. I really felt like in that moment, Danielle was just like, you know what? If this is the first time I did something like this. If I did not handle it properly, I apologize. That should be the end of it. But I don't blame Danielle for kind of going back and thinking to herself some of the things that Jennifer Aiden said when she said that she, when I throw a charity, because this was a jab. When I throw a charity event, I pay for I pay for everything, not expecting to be paid back for anything. Here's the thing. I didn't like that comment when she first said it, but a part of me thought to myself, what is she accusing Danielle of? So we get a clearer picture at exactly what she's accusing her of. She's saying that Danielle not only paid, the vendors and things like that, she paid herself back. Well, depending on what she paid for, I don't see anything wrong with that. There are plenty of charity events, unless these vendors donate their time and products. There are certain things you come out of pocket for that you need to be reimbursed for. We have to remember, Danielle is not at the same tax bracket as a lot of these housewives. We've seen her home. Ain't nothing wrong with our home, but it's small in comparison to everyone else's. You could tell that, I don't know what Nick does for a living. And I believe Danielle, she's doing the fashion stuff, but that's not necessarily bringing in the money just yet. So I'm looking at Danielle as a regular person doing what a lot of people do when they throw a charity event. They put out some of their money, out of pocket for some of this stuff after they raise the money, and then whatever's the profit, they're going to give that to the charity. But I get what Danielle probably felt like. We have to remember there's also the element of the show behind these fights. You're saying this on television to millions of people, making it seem like I'm stealing from a charity. That's not cool. So I can imagine Danielle going back home after Danielle cleaned it up in the moment. She was just like, if I did it wrong, I apologize. But then she probably thought back to herself when she got home. It's like, what did she mean by that? Was that a dig? So that's what she's talking to Melissa about. And Jen basically is saying that she has an issue with Danielle. She feels like Danielle has this thing about her, that she's kicking out Lena, and she didn't put her on the step and repeat. Later on, she's like, yeah, because, Danielle says, you guys are millionaires. And she's like, I'm not a millionaire. Jennifer Aiden. Now, all of a sudden, you're not a millionaire? How much is that house worth in Paramus? How much is that? Your husband is in plastics. Come on now. You are definitely making quite the money. All right. Now, all of a sudden, you're not a millionaire. All right, girl. I was just like, here's the thing. And Jennifer Aiden has not done any promotion on social media. She hasn't done any interviews. A lot of people are saying it was because of this Melissa's old nose controversy that's been happening. So she's been put on a timeout. But based on, you should be grateful that Bravo may have put you out on a timeout, because the way that you are coming across in these last couple of episodes, Jennifer Aiden, I'm like, you're evil. I know Jennifer Aiden has her ways over the years, but now I'm starting to see like the cracks in the surface. Literally what Danielle says at the end of the episode, and now I see you for who you really are. And I felt that in my chest when she said that. And I'm like, because I'm like there with her. I'm like, me too, Danielle. Me too. Not that I didn't see Jennifer Aiden for who she was before, but the reach that she's trying in this moment, we'll get to it in a second. Guys, have you liked the video yet? Have you subscribed? Have you voted in our live chat poll? Are you coming to the Boston show this Thursday? Damn, it's Thursday. Before you know it, it'll be Thursday. The weeks, they fly by during the summer. Boston, I hope you guys are ready for an amazing show. I'm just going to put it out there. We're going to have an amazing time, an amazing show. I hope you're ready to have a good time. We're going to eat. We're going to laugh. We're going to kiki and maybe some other stuff. Who knows? Who knows? And then in July is right around the corner. I will be coming to Nashville and then Atlanta. Come on. Have you got your tickets for the Nashville show? Have you got your tickets for the Atlanta show? Maybe you want to go to Atlanta. Maybe you want to go to Nashville. You've always wanted to go to Nashville. Go get your tickets. Go book your hotel. Come on. Let's go have a good time in Nashville. I'm going for a couple of days in Nashville. I'm ready. Look, I'm ready. So more information on the Kempire After Dark live tour is available in the description, including our August date in Seattle. That's going to be a fun show too. So stay tuned for that, guys. Anyways, moving on. So we had that back and forth. But here's the thing that stood out to me in that first scene. Teresa says, because Dolores brings up the whole Jackie text message situation. And Teresa says that she just needs Jackie because she needs Marge to be exposed. And there we have it. But Jackie says that she knew, from the beginning of the season. Jackie was like, I know why they're being friendly to me, but she will do anything to be on this show. And it's really sad, actually. It's really, really sad. Anyways, Margaret and Rachel have a conversation. And I was happy that this conversation was just more about their own personal stuff and not necessarily about what's going on in the group. And even with the stuff that's going on in the group, it had nothing to do with Teresa, because a lot of people love to say, oh, every scene's about Teresa. No, this stuff was more so about their personal stuff. Rachel talking about her own. Rachel, I felt what you said so often. So if you feel healthy right now, let what Rachel said in this scene, because, she's dealing with the arthritis. I can't even imagine what that is. What that feels like when you feel it throughout your body like that. Shout out to anyone that struggles with that. But when you're feeling good, we don't take a moment to celebrate how we're feeling when we're feeling good until we're in those moments when we're not feeling good. And you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I had I want to get back to feeling normal again. So I felt that, Rachel. I felt that for you. So she was also talking about her daughter, and her daughter, had the surgery on her mouth. And she's talking about that experience. They're flashing back to when she's at the doctor's office. And she says literally the same day she saw improvements in her speech. So I was like, good. So she says, she talked about, shows the exercises that she has to do with her daughter. I can't even imagine having kids. You're dealing with your own arthritis situation, and then you also have a child with a situation that you got to focus on. Shout out to all the mothers. Shout out to all of them. I don't know how y'all do it. I just I feel like I get one little pain. I'm like, oh, mommy. Just saying. But then Marge talked about how Joe's PCA had jumped and that possibly he could have cancer. And, she's dealing with the whole Jan situation, and Jan was like her rock, and Joe is definitely her rock. And so she does not want to deal with any loss. So she is triggered. So she gets really emotional. And at the top of the scene, Rachel says that she's building this new relationship with Marge, and she's like, Marge is very motherly. And I know a lot of you were like, lies. The lie. Look, and I've slammed Marge a lot this season because I do believe that Marge is a hard person to be friends with, and especially when it comes to this show. However, I will say that I do believe that Marge, she's very motherly. I can see that from her. Maybe overbearing motherly, but I definitely see that from her, to the point where she had a really good relationship for a while with her stepkid. So I can see why people kind of gravitate to Marge. I just feel like Marge in the last couple of seasons, especially with all of the drama of the show, has become unlikable. But I can see her still being very motherly in a way. And wanting to help people, because we saw her kind of be that way with Danielle when Danielle first got into the group and things like that. Will she hold it over your head? Well, would your mother hold it over your head? Probably. I'm just saying, Anyways, then they start talking about the Jackie situation and says Marge is not happy with Jackie, clearly. And she says Dolores told her at the party that Jackie was like, well, Marge talks all about you and Paulie all the time. I feel like the situation with Dolores and Jackie has been a long time coming. Yes, I remember seeing a scene over the weekend in regards to some issues that Jackie and Dolores had in earlier seasons. So I feel like something has been brewing between them, or maybe they've never really liked each other, or maybe Dolores has never really liked Jackie or has always felt judged by Jackie. And God only knows what that has been like. Maybe it's something that she's, a microaggression that she's said before. I wouldn't be surprised because we all have said that Jackie is a little bit of an elitist. So Dolores brings that up too in this episode. Speaking of Dolores and Paulie go for a workout. Again, another reason why we cannot stand Paulie. Look, in all fairness, Dolores has gotten a lot of surgeries. And even Dr. David was like concerned about the amount of surgeries that Dolores has gotten. Dolores doesn't need any surgery in our eyes. However, her body, her choice. I always go back to that. Her body, her choice. However, we don't talk enough about the dangers of going in for surgery, period. Especially elective surgeries. So I get why, especially if a doctor tells you like he's concerned about you doing it. I'm like, all right, so maybe I shouldn't do it, But Paulie says that's a deal breaker for him. He said, you go for a surgery, he's hitting the road. Mind you, she's just talking about how she's got to keep up with the exercise to not go to surgeries. He goes into a whole other thing. He's a little bit of a hothead. He's like, if you go, you going for surgery, I'm hitting the road. Okay. Her body, her choice, though. Just saying. All right. Paulie apparently is different, though, in comparison to David. This is what she says. She says that Paulie has shown commitment. And I get, maybe when she says commitment, meaning that he makes more time for her. Remember, Dr. David ended up working a lot. He is an active doctor. And doctors' wives or anyone that's in a relationship with a doctor probably could attest to like, yeah, that schedule is something serious. So that might be what she's referring to, but I don't see it working out. Do you think that she would get back with Dr. David? Dr. David has a girlfriend. I don't know if they're still together, but maybe. I mean, I did like Dr. David. He just didn't. I definitely need him to go to the Caribbean and get some color, especially when you're hanging around these folks. When you're hanging around these folks, you're gonna look extra pale, and he was already pale. Hanging around these folks, looking like a hot pink and tan and black Dolores. Oh, we haven't said that in a while. You're gonna stand out. Just saying. Dolores says she has no idea that Jackie hated her. All right. She says that that Jackie needs to be careful about some of the things that she's saying because both Marge is ready to spill the beans and Teresa is already ready to spill the beans because literally Dolores was just hanging out with Teresa and Teresa was just like, yeah, I want to get more information from Jackie when it comes to the common denominator, and that is Marge. All right. So before we get to the Tipsy and Tulum parties, we have both Danielle and Jennifer Aiden talking with their husband about the issues that they have with each other. And Jennifer says that, things have been festering between them. I thought they were done at this party. Jennifer says that Danielle is tacky and selfish. So she's taking digs. After Danielle apologized, we have Jennifer Aiden taking digs, calling her tacky and selfish. She says she doesn't know why Teresa would want to bring Danielle into the group with her. So the same thing that you're accusing Danielle of being, not being open to other people, being an elitist, you are talking, that's why I'm looking at Jennifer Aiden. I'm like, do you hear yourself? Is there any self-awareness at all? Because there have been times throughout the seasons, and look, I don't remember everything, but I do remember that Jennifer Aiden is not definitely not the most open person when it comes to people, okay? And she definitely has an elitist thing about herself, okay? So she doesn't know why Teresa would want to bring her into this group. Okay. All right, fine. So we have the Tipsy and Tulum party at the top. Before anyone even gets there, Teresa's getting ready for the party. Gia's getting ready for the party. So Teresa's talking about the whole Jackie situation. And Gia says that Jackie will, she's going to realize after having a conversation with you just exactly what Marge has put their family through. Again, Gia's Teresa's daughter, okay? She's hearing that side of things. And look, we don't know the full extent of it. All right. So Jen Fessler shows up to the party, and they talk about how they went to Tulum in a private plane. Her and Jennifer Aiden, Teresa and Jennifer Aiden went to a private plane to Tulum for her birthday, her 50th birthday. All right. A private jet is not what people think it is. You can, if you own one, that's a different thing. Teresa doesn't own one. Okay, you can rent one for pretty cheap. Okay, we've learned that. We've learned that over the years. Okay, covering these Housewives shows. But Jen Fessler said, "Oh, I've never done that." Teresa says, "Well, maybe if you hang out with me." And all of a sudden, Jen Fessler says, "Marge who? Margaret who?" I know some people will be like, oh, here come thirsty Jen Fessler. But I'm going to take it as Jen Fessler being facetious, because literally later on in this episode, in this scene, we see Jen Fessler walk away because they're talking trash about Margaret. And she's like, that's a friend of mine. So I think Jen Fessler, she's giving us the funny. She's being facetious. And I know some of the New Jersey fans aren't able to see that. They're more so going to be like, oh, Jen Fessler, some people do not like Jen Fessler. I still like Jen Fessler and what she's added since last season. But at the same time, I'm like, she's twerking on a fence right now with this whole situation. Okay. Anyway, so did you guys notice when Jackie comes in, she sees Gia and she says that she's doing press. She's like, everyone's obsessed with me and your mom being friends basically now. And I'm like, here goes Thirst Bucket. Here goes Thirst Bucket. More so this. Here goes the Thirst Bucket. Look. Oh, what was this? Oh, never mind. I was looking at the soundboard. Guys, if you haven't already, don't forget, we're running a fundraiser this month for the center here in New York City. If you haven't already, or if you've been waiting, don't wait any longer. It's only less than a week. I think it's like 6 days left. Damn, the month is flying. 6 days left till we reach our goal of $2,500 for the center. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. So please donate what you can, or at least share some of our videos so people can donate what they can for this fundraiser. All right. Thank you in advance. So back to this. So I noticed that scene with Gia and Jackie, and I'm like, oh God. I'm like, oh, right, Jackie. It gets worse with Jackie. So Dolores says something that I thought was a word. I thought that this was so powerful. And I think we need to take a moment and take it in. When it comes to the issues with Jackie, she doesn't want to argue with Jackie. She doesn't even want to be in Jackie's presence. All right. So when Jackie comes in, everyone's saying hello to her, and Dolores is like, I'm going to go. Even Danielle said hello to Jackie. Dolores says in her confessional, she says, I have learned to let someone destroy themselves. They sometimes can do a better job than you. I said, that is a word. You know how we normally, at least for me, sometimes silence is a lot more effective than arguing with someone? Well, this to me is the same premise. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I'm going to let you destroy yourself, because you're going to do a better job. And honestly, I was like, that, come on. So that is a word. And based on what we've been hearing about Jackie behind the scenes, I'm pretty sure she's doing a better job than Dolores would have done. So as I mentioned before, Jackie is being encouraged by Teresa to give up the deets of what has Jackie said about Dolores and Paulie's relationship. And Jackie's like, I don't want to get into it. And they're slamming Marge. So Jennifer Fessler's like, I'm going to get out of here. And then she makes reference to the acreage. Because you remember, she's like, my house is not as big as Teresa's. And she's like, I'm going to take advantage of these 6 acres and I'm going to go somewhere else. These are the moments that I love about Jen Fessler. So Teresa tries to coax Jackie to speak on the horrible things that Marge has said about Paulie and Dolores. My thing is, if Marge did say those things, and I wouldn't put it past Marge, to be honest with you, because when Dolores confronted Marge, go look back at the tape. Dolores' face, not Dolores' face, Marge's face says to me, "Yup, you said some stuff." You said some stuff. Even though her mouth is saying something else, I think you said some stuff. Even if I didn't see her face, I probably would believe it. But I don't think Jackie has anything. She could probably say something, but what is she going to prove? Or how she's going to prove it? Well, Dolores and Jackie, Jackie pulls Dolores aside to have a conversation. And Dolores is like, I'm not here for it. And after watching the scene, I said, there's been something underlying between Jackie and Dolores for a while. And Dolores probably has never seen it for Jackie. She's probably cordial with Jackie. I don't know how deep that friendship was or if they've hung out before. I'm sure they have, but I don't know how deep that friendship was. Okay? So Dolores says that she isn't buying it or Jackie's excuses. All right. But Jackie insists that Marge has said worse things about Dolores and this entire group. Here's the thing. Dolores has conversations. She has a friendship with Marge. Please understand. I think if Marge is talking trash about people in the group and she's done that with Dolores, Dolores is fully aware. Dolores is a grown woman and she's probably like, yeah, I'm sure she has. I'm sure she has. Just saying. Like, I know people that talk trash to me all the time. And I always think to myself, you probably talk about me like this to other people too. But I let them talk it. I'm just like, But I see you. And you don't realize I see you. Just saying. Anyways, but Dolores basically says, she's like, sometimes you need a break. And she's like, I need a break from this friendship. And Jackie is so heartbroken by that. She's heartbroken because Dolores is the person between both groups. So if you're not friends with her, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for her to maintain an actual connection with either side. It really is. She's one of those people. She's like the Sheena. And I only say Sheena because of what Ariana said during the season of Vanderpump Rules. She says Tom Sandoval knows what he's doing by trying to get in the group or back in the group's favor by coming through Sheena. So for me, Dolores is that person because she's good with everybody. So if Jackie's not getting, she doesn't see it for you, it's going to be tough for Jackie. It's going to be tough. And I think Teresa and Jennifer Aiden are just going to use Jackie, and Jackie's just going to be hurt because Jackie, if you're a friend of now and they're thinking about a reboot, they're not thinking about you in that reboot. Sorry. What do you guys think? Guys, how would you rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey? I thought it wasn't a bad episode, and we haven't even gotten to the big fight of it all. If I had to rate this week's episode of Real Housewives of New Jersey, I would give it an 8.5. Because there was a lot of stuff going on besides the Gorga versus Teresa stuff. And it, again, like last week, gave me a glimpse of, oh, maybe we can move forward without some of these people for the first time. Maybe. But again, we're at Teresa's party. She threw a good party. We got fire throwers. We've got the bongos guy. We got good food. She knows how to throw a party. I'll give it to her. I will definitely give it to her. All right. So Danielle checks in with Teresa and Jennifer Aiden, but first she checks in with Teresa to make sure that they're good. Because I know you see me hanging out with Melissa and Marge, but, I want you to know that we're good. And Teresa's like, I think that we're good. I'm just hoping that they're not getting in your head. And she's like, no, they know how close we are. So this is when Jennifer Aiden comes over. So Danielle brings up her concerns with some of the things that Jennifer Aiden said at the housewarming party. Jennifer Aiden says that she's upset that Danielle doesn't consider other people's feelings. This is coming from Jennifer Aiden, okay? Danielle points out that she doesn't like what Jennifer Aiden accused her of, as if she was stealing from a charity. And Jennifer Aiden, in her confessional, she got a lot of mouth. She's a confessional gangster. She has a lot of mouth. She says, well, she said to me, I don't know if I believe you, Jennifer Aiden. I don't know if I believe you. I have trust issues with Danielle, rightfully so. But this is like the first season where I feel like Danielle is actually making more sense. Because you seem to be very calculated in very like a snake, really like a snake. So she brings up in her confessional that Danielle said that she had to pay herself back from this charity event. Honestly, I'm not mad about that. Hear me out. If Danielle put out some of the money for this event, she should pay herself back because maybe she didn't have it. She wanted to do this event. I don't know how much went where. And look, at this particular point, she's admitting, like, this is my first event. I don't really know what I was doing. If I was supposed to include you in a step and repeat, because she brings up the step and repeat again. It's like, girl, the step and repeat. And she's like, you guys didn't pay for anything. The people that, and I, as someone that has thrown events before and been a part of events for years, yeah, if you're going to be featured on a step and repeat, you're either putting in actual sweat, but most of all, you're actually paying for it. They're actually paying for it. However, them fighting over a step and repeat is very classic Housewives. I mean, come on. We talk about the toxicity of New Jersey, but at least a fight over a step and repeat is a little bit more Housewives and more light, fun energy that we need from Real Housewives of New Jersey. But it goes quickly from the step and repeat to somewhere else. And Jennifer Aiden says, well, you know what? That's not my real issue with you. Jennifer, it seems like you have had a problem with Danielle. I think maybe after what went down last season, after Danielle had that realization that maybe you guys used her. Again, she's grown. She decided to bring the information to the cameras. But clearly, we all saw, no matter if you're a fan of her or not, we all saw what Jennifer Aiden was doing. We were like, Jennifer, you know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing. And that was like, for me, the first time, like, oh, Jennifer Aiden, you are really a slick one. And this season, you thought you were slicker. All right. So, so Jen says that's not my real issue with you. Jen brings up Marissa, who does both Dolores and Danielle's extensions. So they were supposed to be doing some sort of photo shoot, and she says, "Oh, Danielle called me up, and she said, do you know what you're in for? You're not going to be paid for this, and it's going to be featured on her website." Honestly, when she first said it, I took it as, it looks like she was giving you a heads up just so that there was no issue. Like she's trying to prevent an issue from happening because these are public figures. This is not like Joe Schmo going to do a photo shoot and it's going to be put on someone's website. We're talking about people that are a part of a show that get paid for advertising. So I took it, and this is what Danielle says in her confessional. She says she is misconstruing what that conversation was. And I was just like, when Danielle explained it in her confessional, it made so much sense to me. I was like, when you said, I see you for who you really are, I was like, me too, Danielle. Me too. What are you doing here, Jennifer Aiden? I do believe that Jennifer, because of the charity thing didn't land for you, you decided to go pick something else up. Because Danielle says in her confessional, when I told her about the, this is not paid. This is going to be on her website, giving you a heads up. She thanked her. I believe her. But I feel like she knew that she was going to twist this, which is so sadistic. Isn't that sadistic? It's very sadistic. And just like conniving. But I'm not surprised. Some of the things that you guys don't even realize with what happens behind the scenes with these housewives and these reality TV stars and the things that the lengths that they will go to just to, I don't even know what they're thinking in their heads when they go to these lengths. Like, do you think this is securing your job? Do you think that this is securing the seat? I don't know. I think the allure of fame and staying on the show and staying relevant and staying a part of the conversation really, it's a drug for a lot of these housewives. I've seen it on so many cities, but also in other reality shows. And it's disturbing. It's disturbing. Anyways, so it gets really heated and I don't blame Danielle. Danielle has told us last season she could go there. Do not test her. All right, she's a Staten Island girl. Okay. So this is where Jennifer Aiden says that she's not a millionaire. in regards to when they were talking about the charity part. She's like, I'm not a millionaire. And she was like, Aiden Plastic, I don't remember, whatever the name of his business is. He's definitely making millions. Like, he's one of those doctors that with plastic surgery, that is making millions. Okay. I know he has to pay a lot in regards to insurance, but they're making a good money, okay, over there. But her trying to, like, that's where you also lost it. I was like, here you go. You're a liar, Jennifer Aiden.
Lies, the lie.
Don't sit here and act as if, oh, you're giving out of your heart when you do charity events and you pay for everything and you never get the money back. I don't know if I believe that either, to be honest with you. So they talk about the whole Marissa stuff, and that really triggers Danielle because I'm sure her and Marissa are still friends. And she's just like, how would you go and twist this? So it gets really heated between the both of them, and they're very close to each other. But then, because remember, when we heard the story about what happened at this party, we heard that Danielle was, she's like terrible. She hit Jennifer Aiden in the head. We didn't realize that Jennifer Aiden pushed Danielle first. And Danielle reacted because Danielle's a Staten Island girl. She's from the tri-state area. She's a New Yorker. Tiffany, after the party happened, after the incident happened, she said to Teresa, she was like, Teresa, I mean, if someone shoves us, we're gonna hit them with whatever we got in our hands. She didn't say it like that, or specifically like that. I'm saying it like that. So Jennifer Aiden shoves her with both hands, and honestly, Jennifer, your evil came out in that moment. Because you're like, calm down, to Danielle, calm down, you should be calm. And then all of a sudden, she's like, she shoved. I was like, go play that. I played that scene like 4 times because I was just like, it was like we saw The Exorcist. It was a whole other side of Jennifer Aiden came out. A whole other side. Jennifer Aiden, you sit here and act as if you're so hospitable. However, no matter how anyone feels about the troll account, Melissa's Old Nose, those DMs were pretty damning. And they did not help depict you in the best light. Holding over Melissa's Old Nose's head that you helped her disabled child. And then saying, a year from now, no one's going to even know your name. Oh, sounds very elitist to me. Just saying. But in that moment when she shoved Danielle, I don't know what you were thinking. Because if I had to bet on a fight, I'm betting on Danielle. I'm betting on Danielle. And honestly, based off her reaction, she did not take 2 seconds to react. She got shoved, and the whatever, I think it was like a plastic cup, went whoosh against her side of her head. There was no blood. I didn't see any blood. Her ear did look a little red. I was looking for the blood. I was like, I don't see any blood. Nick was up there before anything else went down, and he took his wife right out of there, and he, at the same time, told Jennifer Aiden, I don't remember what he said exactly, but basically like, you are terrible. You're a terrible person. That is not right what you did. All right. He's leading her out of this party, which I appreciate. Nick, look, come on, give it up to Nick. I'm a Nick stan this season. I'm just saying, he takes his wife out of there, but I felt her anger in a way as if it was like I was shoved. Because when she walked through there, Dr. Bill was sitting there eating, and she says, what did she say? You're sleeping with the enemy. Oh, the way that she ripped, and he said nothing. I was surprised that he didn't get up and go check on his wife a lot quicker than he did. Eventually he did, but I was like, after she said that, why wouldn't you go check on your, like, immediately I would get up and like, oh, let me go check on, but who knows, based off of editing. He casually moseyed on over to the conversation. So we have that scene between Nick and Danielle in the car, and he's talking about, you're a good mother. Danielle says that, she's just upset. She wants to, be or have the relationship that she has with Nick. Honestly, when she said that, some people are like, oh, you're ridiculous. No, I believe it. Yeah, money's fine. Yeah, she's got all the money in the world, but we've seen the cracks in the relationship between Jennifer Aiden and Dr. Bill. Dr. Bill's a sweet man. He did cheat on her. All right. She's always complaining he's never home. He doesn't make time for her. He doesn't have her back. Nick, his love for Danielle, oh, that love runs deep. Those two have been together a long time. He still loves on that woman. I could see what Danielle was saying. I was like, well, I can see that. I think we all kind of look at Danielle and Nick's relationship like, oh, that's sweet. They really love on each other. I mean, it's almost look, it's almost like Melissa and Joe in a way. Who else has that relationship? I guess everyone else besides Jennifer Aiden and Dr. Bill, to be honest. It feels like all the other husbands, well, Dolores and Paulie, I don't know what that is. And Jennifer Aiden is just sort of like laughing it off. She's laughing it off. And she's like, I don't remember if I pushed her first. Oh, the camera does. The camera does. And now I really do believe that you probably use these blogs. Because remember, all these blogs had I have the exclusive of what went down. And everyone was spinning the narrative that Danielle was unhinged. I don't remember anyone reporting, but I didn't read all the blogs because I really can't get in. When New Jersey's not on air, it's hard for me to get into anything of what's going on because everyone's bought and paid. Yes, they are. Not me, though. And I remember, I never remember anyone saying that Jennifer Aiden was the first one to push. I remember them saying that, Jennifer Aiden said a lot of stuff, and remember, Mrs. Old knows, I believe she said on Behind the Velvet Rope, that was the real reason that set Danielle off. That's not what played out in this episode. So Melissa Old knows, fact check. But this is what you were told. So, I mean, you weren't there. Anyways, so that's how the episode ends. Look, that's how the episode ends. Look, it wasn't the violence that was interesting to me, to be honest with you. It was everyone else's drama, interpersonal dramas, very much like last week's episode that had nothing necessarily to do with Teresa. We got Dolores versus Jackie. We've got Jennifer Aiden versus Danielle. But honestly, I don't think that Jennifer Aiden is going to come back after this reboot. If Bravo has been able to confirm that she was slipping information and screeners to fans and troll accounts, that is a fireable offense. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jennifer Aiden's not even being discussed about coming back. They put her out on a timeout. She's suspended. Like, I feel like she's suspended indefinitely. Like Kenya Moore. I wouldn't be surprised if Jennifer Aiden does not return next season. And I know a lot of people want to blame Teresa, but Jennifer, you're a grown woman. And I don't know if Teresa was in your ear about this situation with Danielle. I don't think so. But who knows? Who knows? I could see Teresa like, I don't want any part of this. I don't want any part of this. So I don't know what your gripe was with Danielle, but who knows? And if anything, you're going to look like the fool because Teresa's going to still be here after this reboot and you won't. Was it worth it? And then very much like Melissa's old nose, people won't be talking about you come this time next year. You should have been your own person from the jump because I've always said that I think that Jennifer Aiden is a good housewife, but she is way too far up Teresa's you-know-what, and that's not Teresa's fault. That's your own fault. You could have navigated this situation between Teresa and the other group because you still have relationships with them and still been relevant because you are funny in your confessionals. You are an actual housewife. You do have the lifestyle that people want to see on Real Housewives. But you have decided to go in a way behind the scenes, maybe because of Teresa or Teresa's attorney or Louis, and now you done lost your job and your financial freedom from Dr. Bill. I hope you've been saving those coins. Boston. We're going to talk about Real Housewives of New Jersey this week. And of course, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Spill the tea. All of that. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun and so much more. We're going to talk about some hot topics. We'll talk about Dubai. We'll talk about whatever's happening this week because every single show is different. But if you are a member of the channel, you will get first access to our New York City show that was recorded. Shout out to those of you that bought the live stream. You guys brought down the house with the live stream option. I'm hoping we can bring that back from some other shows, but not the Boston show. So if you're in Toronto or if you're nearby Boston and you want to come to the show, get your tickets today. And then don't forget, we're coming to Nashville in July and Atlanta in July, and then I'll be in Seattle in August. I know you're all asking, when are you coming to this city or that city? Look, ask me after September because the summer is pretty much booked. Everyone is touring right now. And I'm talking from podcasts to musicians. And I know a lot of you are like, I don't have it. I feel like my tickets are decently priced, depending on the venue. Like, we have no control over that. So, but anyways, more information on the Kempire After Dark live tour is available in the description. Guys, don't forget, live recaps like this one and special episodes are available in audio on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating because it matters. And don't forget, today's live show was sponsored by our friends over at BetterHelp. More information on that and your discount code and everything Kempire will be available in the description. Shout out to our members, to our subscribers, and of course, our King's Guards. We could not do this without them. So show them some love in the live chat. And I will see you guys in the next one, the next story, the next live, whatever it may be. I will see you. If you missed our Love and Marriage Huntsville recap yesterday, be sure to check that out. I even sang a little bit. Anyways, guys, I will see you guys later. Have a great rest of your Monday. Bye, y'all.
It's been way too long, I've been building walls around me. Keep my distance so you never know too much about me. Trying to keep you out cause I love my safe space. But the problem is I never looked into my own face. Am I ashamed of myself? Am I afraid of my emotions? Am I ashamed of myself? Am I afraid of my emotions? We let it go, will we hold it aside? It's hard to take the blame, I know it doesn't feel right. We let it go, will we hold it aside? You're more than just your past, you're more than what you realize. We let it go, will we hold it aside? It's hard to take the blame, I know it doesn't feel right. We let it go, will we hold it aside? You're more than just your past, you're more than what you realize. Way too long, I've been building walls around me. Keep my distance so you never know too much about me. Trying to keep you out cause I love my safe space. But the problem is I never looked into my own face. Am I ashamed of myself? Am I afraid of my emotions? Am I ashamed of myself? Am I afraid of my emotions? We let it go, will you hold it inside? It's hard to take the blame, I know it doesn't feel right. We let it go, will you hold it inside? You're more than just your past, you're more than what you realize. We let it go, will you hold it inside? It's hard to take the blame, I know it doesn't feel right. We let it go, will you hold it inside? You're more than just your past, you're more than what you realize.